Welcome back to Sister Talk. I am your host, JM, and this is my co-host.
I'm Tatiana. Today we're going to talk about dating versus the early 2000s and then now in 2022. We're also going to dive into dating with kids and without kids. And we have two special ladies on that can introduce themselves.
I'm Jawanda.
Hi, I'm Sherry.
I wanted to ask everyone what would be ideal places to meet someone when you first start dating them.
Ideal places.
Yes.
No ideal place to meet someone. I say just in the grocery store or something casual, like something not too serious or anything. Like a grocery store for me would be an ideal place because it doesn't really have too much meaning. We both eat and we go on grocery shopping for our house. So that a grocery store, something simple.
I say for me, I don't really think it matters. I think people meet people at work, out, grocery store, bars, clubs. I mean, it really doesn't matter where you meet the person at. I think it's just once you get to talk to them and know them. So for me, it could be practically anywhere. I mean, you could meet a person anywhere, in my opinion.
I agree with both. You can meet a person anywhere. It doesn't. I don't think it's an ideal place that you can meet someone.
I agree too. The only thing is I don't think that like you should try to meet someone that you work with, because I just think like if it goes bad or if things don't work out, then like you'll have to see the person at work, or it could be like workplace drama. So I'd say anywhere like casual outings and stuff, but like probably not within like a workplace.
Well, no, not working with the person, but like if you meet the person at work, like your job, they come in or no, I wouldn't date a person that I work with. I'm saying like if they come, people work at grocery stores, whatever, if the person come in there. I mean, if they say they don't want to date them because the person know where they work, I don't know. It just depends on the person, but
I've dated my boss before, so I don't know.
So it didn't matter.
Yeah.
I think it depends on the person. It depends on the comfort zone for you. A lot of people say they don't like to work date anybody at the job from the job, but I don't think that has a lot to do with it. It just depends on the person, the individual. That's why you have to really get to know people.
Like I would have said like church, but I feel like church is too, it's like it has this, you'll have an idea of a person being this type of person because they're at church. So that's why I just said like a grocery store, because it's nothing you expecting from a person. And like for me, I'll be just like this. I won't have no makeup on, no nothing. I'll just be my normal everyday self. So I would want somebody to meet me in that state because they're gonna love me when I get together. So.
Do you think the reason being not church is because of the religion part of it, and thinking that you coming together up under that agreement might have something to do with not wanting to meet somebody at church?
That's exactly, because religion is a real tough subject for me, just period. In like the dating world, and for you to agree on that's just too much for the first meeting of someone or something like that. That's a lot to touch on. So yeah, I would just want it to be a regular place for me. So we're gonna go ahead and dive into the length of dating someone, like the time length. So how long do you think a person should date before becoming exclusive? Like that being your boyfriend, girlfriend. Like how long do you think someone should date? And Sherry, you can start off with the.
Okay. For me now, I think that you should really take at least about 3 months at the most. And when I say 3 months of just talking and being sociable with each other, getting to know one another before you transition over into something different. or should I say transition over into a relationship? Because those are really two different things, right? If you're dating and then you're thinking about going into a relationship.
Yeah, that's two different things. Yeah.
Yeah, so I would say at least 3 months at the most. Talking and maybe going out, little dates and little different things like that.
Jawanda.
Yeah. And I do agree with Sherry. I think that even if 3 months, 4 months, I think both people should come to an agreement. How long do they think they should date? But I do, before they become exclusive, which it still should be at least more than a month. But I think they should date, because a lot of times in the world they took dating out. So you should go out on dates, communicate with people, get to know people, talk to them. And before you just start saying we boyfriend, girlfriend, or even go to the next steps, as far as, like, dating is different from saying we in a relationship. Because then once you say that, you're not supposed to date anybody else, because technically you can date more than one person at a time to get to know, would you rather be with this person or that person. So you do need to
Mhm.
really have an understanding with both people, so one person won't get jealous of if they see you out with somebody else. So I think it is up to both people to really communicate that, about that we just dating until we get to the point where we will say that we exclusive in a relationship.
I agree 100%.
Yeah, I think the at most part, like when you said 2 to 3 or 4 months, like at most, because I feel like it can't, if it goes on for too long, it's like that means that maybe one person or both you guys don't see, potential of a relationship. So I think the at most part is like, not tell someone if we're not exclusive by this time, like we're done, but it's like, think about, like, if it's like getting like 6, 7, 8 months, it means like maybe that's not what that relationship is meant to be. Maybe it's not meant to go further than that. So I think paying attention to that is like important. You don't want to waste your time hoping for a year that the man's gonna, want to get more serious, because it's like you should have knew maybe around like 4 or 5 months that wasn't gonna be that type of situation.
I agree with that as well.
I actually disagree with that as far as
Okay.
like a short amount of time of dating. And I only say that because I've dated somebody for a short period of time and went really fast and exclusive with the person. And then I took my time, and I feel like it's better like taking your time and not being in a rush, because I didn't feel pressure to do anything, or I didn't want to pressure the guy into doing anything, because it was really him. And he taught me like patience, no need to rush for a title, because really a title is just a title at the end of the day. If you feeling somebody, you don't really have to be, oh, that's my boyfriend, that's my girlfriend. Because if you really feeling that person and y'all only in the dating phase, it's your choice to whether or not stop dating other people. You can cut the other people out the equation and still be considered dating that person and not be in a relationship. Because, I've done that before. So I think taking time and not rushing into stuff, because you never really wasting time. And if you think about it, because you can learn from everything you're doing. Like, you can take something from every situation, relationship, whatever you want to call it. So I say take your time, because what we in a rush for?
But what if you're really, really liking that person and you're not receiving the same thing back? Then what do you do? Because if you're really liking a person and you just constantly, just month by month hoping for something different, and how long does that go that you continue on?
And that's when I agree with Jawanda, when y'all both got to sit down and kind of come to agreement of wherever y'all want to be in life, because women are way more mature than men. So it might take the woman to be like, hey, what we doing? But I don't want to say like just 3 months. I don't know, that seems real. As I get older, that seems so short of a time, like it seemed real short. And people be having kids or pregnant within 3 months of just dealing with each other. That's pretty scary, you know. So I
Mhm.
take your time, because long term, I don't want to be with nobody long term, and I didn't really get to know them. Like, yeah, I just say take your time. That's what I think. But I do agree with you. You don't want to know. You don't want to be holding on to something and they not feeling the same way either. So
Well, that's just like Judge Mathis say, even you taking your time, even if you all say after 4 months, 5 months decide to be in a relationship, you still could take your time because like he said, it take a full year to at least get to really know somebody in each stage of each season. And it may even take longer than that because some people can portray to be something else for a long time. It ain't gonna be forever, but they can fake something for a while.
Mhm.
So even if you do go on to the dating phase, it's not like it's to say, oh, I'm done, we dating and well, we together, we not gonna ever break up or whatever. It's just you still getting to know the person, but you just taking it to another step level, the relationship.
yeah. So do you guys believe that men truly know when they meet a woman if that person is for them or not? Do you guys believe that, like at a short, or what do they say, like men know when they meet a woman if they would marry them or not? Do you guys truly believe that?
I have had a lot of guys to in my age now and being out just in the lounges and things like that have told me that like they say they instantly know what is it that they want from you, if they want a one night stand with you or a relationship. This guy was explaining to me it's just really about how a woman carry herself. It's just something that they can pick up about how a woman carry herself, and they determine then if she's could be an easy woman for that night or within a week or two or something like that, or if they have to really be a stand-up guy and do a long-term dating or something like that with a woman.
So to piggyback on like the one night stand, or do you feel like a man can take a woman serious after, maybe sleeping with each other on the first night? Do you think that just makes the woman easy, or like,
It depends. I think that it depends. Well, now I really don't. I don't think that they take them seriously now. But when we were dating, like if a guy really liked it, whatever, you decided one night stand or whatever, then it just went on from there. But I can't say that like now, because it's totally different now with one night stands. It's like the guys, I don't know, it's just a lack of a whole lot of respect.
Okay, interesting.
I think that I don't know, I will want to say that I feel like now, like it was that whole situation with like that one rapper saying that he's with his baby mama, fiance, whatever, because she hasn't been with that many people and stuff. And people were saying how it don't go both ways. Like guys sleep with people on the first night and they consider themselves a stand-up guy or whatever. But then it's like they might not consider it from a woman, but it's like if you slept with somebody on the first night, it had to have been a woman. So it's like you should, see the other side, that you consider yourself a stand-up guy or a good catch or whatever. So that doesn't mean that that person's not a good catch. I would hope people think like that, but I know like most likely they don't. So.
Well, to piggyback off what Tatiana said, that is true because I had actually watched a court show before, and the man like didn't go through with the marriage with he proposed because she had told him how many partners she had, which was weird because if you was already to me in love with her, why would that matter? And I just feel like even when the judge told him if that's a deal breaker for you, you should ask that at the beginning of a relationship or don't ask it at all. But in my opinion, I guess it depends on the person, but which like Tatiana said, most men don't may not want a woman that have one night stands or had a lot of partners or more than them, which is biased. So that's why I just feel like it just the maturity of both people. If you feeling each other, I don't think a person past should matter to to either one of the people if that's where they trying to go with each other. But men are very biased, and like Sherry said, they do judge women, us, more so than we would judge them on how we carry ourselves or how we do or be just even out in a club or whatever. If you're talking to multiple guys, you could just be conversating with them. They may put you in a category of an easy woman, or you just want men. So we do, I think, get judged by men more so than they get judged is when they do sleep with women or one night stands, or how they judge women. Because like Tatiana said, what would make them think that they're stand up but a woman is not? So I think it's just a lot of judgment on men to women. So I think we just got to kind of start, women should put, have more judgment as well too, and not let them always get the say so.
I agree. And I also agree with Tatiana when she saying that the guy should be held accountable as well for the one night stand. Like you guys are saying, why is it that if I choose and we both choose to have this one night stand, but if he chooses to go any farther in the relationship, then you have to be counted as guilty for having this one night stand with him, but you had a one night stand as well. So now you can't trust me because I had a one night stand with you, but I'm supposed to trust you, but you had a one night stand with me too. So you have to hold them accountable for that.
Bias.
Yes.
So I have a different outlook of it, because I think nowadays men don't really care much about how many guys that women has been with now in the newer age, like under me age, because I'm 31. But yeah, I feel like they don't really care, because not to say it, I want to use my words wisely. I don't want to say, but the women that's like free out here, they getting wifed up. I know a lot of women that's been with a lot of men that's not like a secret, and they get wifed up. Like they getting in rings and stuff. So it's like, I don't know. I feel like it's the opposite of like, the more wilder you are or the more out there you are, men want to be next to those women that's more out there or whatever. So I don't know.
Yeah.
But first we have to define man and a boy, because it's a difference. Because a real man, no, that's not going to be acceptable. So we have to define that so people can get an understanding of that. So when you see these guys that want these type of women, this flamboyant lifestyle of a woman with her butt showing her butts and out and dancing with her titties out and all this type of stuff like this here, then you have to understand what you're dealing with. To me, that's not a man that you're dealing with. It's a boy.
Yeah.
Or when they get you, they want you to tone down and stop
There
doing
you
all
go.
that. Like that's what attracted you to me.
Yeah. Because we
That's-
can't judge people off of how they dress, because I'm more of a risky type of person, and I feel like I know I'm not gonna always look this way, so I'm gonna show it while I can, but I might do look this way for a long time. So I might do got more time than I think. Just joking. How do you guys feel on when you're in the dating phase? Should the people tell the person that they're dating other people, or like intimate, or if you're dating is like really none of their business until you like get exclusive? So how do you think people should go about that as far as the dating phase? Because dating and relationships, we already acknowledge, are two different things.
If we're just dating, no. If we're in a relationship, then yes, then it's time to, X out everything else. But if we just dating, like Jawanda has said earlier, when you're dating, you're just getting to learn each other. So it's not anything wrong with meeting other people's as well. But once you in a relationship, then that's something totally different from dating. So no, I wouldn't stop talking to other people if we're just in a dating phase. No, I would not stop talking to other people or meeting other guys if we're just in a dating stage, which the definition of a dating stage is really what?
Just dating, getting to know each other, because you don't know if you like that person. Just because you went on a date or two, don't mean you're ready to settle down with the person. So, yeah, I agree with you though. As far as I don't think you don't have to tell them like, or you shouldn't tell them, but I would be very honest with the person and let them know like I'm dating people. We not together. You're not my man. I'm not your woman. Whatever you do is your business. Whatever I do is my business. You see me in these streets and you see with somebody out chilling, leave me alone. Not your business. That's my business. So you do have to be kind of clear because that happened to me before. So you got to kind of clear it up with them. And the men nowadays, or boys, as you say, they might not understand it. So you got to kind of be real clear and sharp with them. Like, look, we ain't together. You do you, I'm gonna do me. If we gonna do each other, we just gonna be doing each other. But until the end, mind your business.
And I think that's how if that was to happen, if they see you in public while you're in a date and they get mad or whatever, then they're just showing you may not want to be with that person. Because if you all talk, and that's as a woman as well, if they acting, it's kind of like that's a sign right there. If we both talked and already communicated that we were just in the dating phase, and I mean, and it's not like if it's like 7-8 months, like Tatiana said earlier. So if it's still kind of early and you go that act like that, then that's kind of to me like a red flag, because I feel like it's not, if it's really early, you don't know if you into somebody that early where you gonna go that crazy if you happen to see them out and that's been communicated between both of you all, as far as we just dating right now, we ain't went to the next step. So I would think for me that would be a red flag, and I would be done with the person anyway, because that gonna turn into more things. So I do agree, we just dating. No one should be doing that, that much anger, this and that. So I would think that would be a sign to either person to be like, that person ain't gonna be, we wouldn't be going further, no further.
I agree with you, but sometimes I think like I ain't never dated a person like me, so it might. I agree with you. If you see the red flags, then you just need to listen to them. Don't think that the red flag gonna turn green 2 days or 3 days, weeks and months from now, it already does. So understand.
I think that you shouldn't assume anything until you guys have that conversation. So if first you're dating somebody, even if it's like a month or two in and you really like the person, I would say still don't assume that I really like this person, I'm only talking to them. Don't just assume it. That's when y'all need to start having those conversations to let each other know that I want to be more serious. I want to just be with you. So I think don't assume that the other person not talking to other people or dating other people too until y'all get more serious and have a conversation.
So what if I'm sorry, what if your dating situation, let's just say, what if your 3 months is up and you're ready to transition into a relationship and he's not? Then what would you do?
For me, I'm not.
We're not talking to Jawanda.
For me, I'm not gonna allow someone to pressure me into a decision, because then if I'm pressured into a decision that I wasn't ready to make, then I might start doing sneaky stuff, not me myself, because I'm real faithful. But like you might start still creeping or dipping and all that stuff. So it's like, let the decision be yours and not that person. You can allow that person, if he ready to make the big move or whatever. If you're not ready, then allow him, like, okay, I'm not ready or whatever. If you're not willing to wait on me, then I'm not that person for you, or go out there and enjoy yourself. But like y'all said, it shouldn't take that long, but you never know. Because I had fun in my dating season. When I was dating a lot of most people, it was fun. I learned a lot about myself as well. So it's all about you, to me, your decision.
Yeah, which I think that's why I do really believe that everybody should have that phase, because if you just go straight to relationships, you do need to learn yourself and then learn what you like or don't like out of a man or woman, vice versa. You have to know as you get of age. That's why it's important to date. I think that you know what things you like and don't like. Nobody's going to be perfect, you or another person, but you want to at least know some things are just going to be totally deal breakers or no. And some stuff you can say, okay, I like this, I like that, I could deal with that. Because as you get older with a person, change is going to come, but it's still just some things people just don't like, not gonna like, can't handle, can't take. So I do believe that dating is very important, and it's good to date different people. How you gonna know other people, other personalities, if you just get with a person, y'all straight in relationship. That's it. You break up, it's another so you do. I really do believe, especially your earlier years when you're in your 20s, that's what that's for in your life, to get out, explore, date, meet new people, so you can learn that. Because if you never do that, you won't know. You will just always just be getting in relationships, coming out, getting in, coming out, and you'll never get that experience. So I believe that dating is very important. um and and even if you older, I mean, I guess you can't really put an age on it, because everybody might not meet their person when they're younger. So I just feel like dating is very important, probably at any stage in your life, because men and women are different at each stage. Younger men is different when they middle age, and then older, just as well as women. So I believe that that's important too.
Um, Speaking on the dating, what I was about to say was, when kids are involved, that's when you really have to be cautious and patient when it comes down to dating, when you have kids involved in it, because then it becomes like totally different. You have to really understand who and what you're bringing around your kids.
Okay. I think what Jawanda was saying, I feel like, and like, take your time, and someone said it takes like kind of like a year to know someone. I think that in my age group, people are like rushing to be in relationships. Or from my experience, it's like, I want to say like after like a month or a few weeks, like they're trying to ask, like, be serious and stuff. And it's like, we barely even went on days. We barely, like, they try to skip all that and just go straight to like being in a serious relationship. I think like it takes like a year to know someone is a good thing. And then to tie it into what Sherry said, I think on Jane the Virgin, that show, they like a couple, they were like separated, and they had an agreement that they wait like 6 months would date someone before they introduce to the kids. Like, they really try to know the person before they bring them into the kids' life. They have like little kids. So I think like 6 months to a year is like a good depiction of, how well you know one. You need at least that time frame. So I think that should be considered when you introduce them to kids. So.
And I also think that dating, it should be an age range, before you start dating, just thinking about dating. I don't know, like, I would say at least wait till you like, what, 18?
Yeah.
Even my son being 24 years old and having a new baby and stuff, and he just said, he just feel like that was just too much, too soon, because it's a big responsibility.
Yeah. Yeah, and I do agree, because I had 2 children young. So I mean, women do it all the time, and men too, but I do believe it kids should wait as well, as long as possible. And a date. And I'm kind of big on waiting until you probably graduate high school as well, and maybe go to college, because your brain not formed yet. They still kids, and it's like you're trying to be an adult. And even in college, kind of pump the brakes, because you just leaving it from your parents, and you getting. So I do agree with Sherry and Tatiana, as far as the newer generation is kind of moving it quick, and it's kind of like, just live and have fun, and kind of enjoy some of your life and your, being young and free and stuff. Enjoy a little bit of it before you tap into all of that other stuff.
Because you got a long road of that in the future. So no need to,
No
yeah.
rushing.
With you guys having kids, how long would you wait, or how long have you waited before you thought about introducing people to your kids that you were like dating?
From my era, baby, it wasn't a time frame. It's not like we was taught how to date and how to do that. It's just that you dated and it just happened, and that was that. Now that I think back, and now that I'm older and getting a better understanding of it, it should be a time frame of you should know what dating is all about. A lot of us just don't know what it is between dating and a relationship. It's not explained to anybody. We just get out there and say that we like someone, and we just take it from there and just go from there. When we was coming up, no, you seen each other, you liked each other, and then you just went from there, and that was that. Nothing else. It's simple.
And I say for my generation, pretty much it was probably like that as well. For me, when my two sons was 2 years apart, when I did date other guys, I didn't bring around my kids. I would date, but I'm married now, so my husband, I had actually knew him 3 years prior. And he still hadn't, he really didn't meet nobody. I just knew him. And then when he started to come around, he met my kids pretty early on because I knew him for a little bit. But as far as, we would do things with the kids and everything. And even though a lot of people said I was kind of crazy back then, when I chose to date men, I didn't want a man with kids, even though I had 2 kids. And it was because of situations I didn't want to have to deal with drama with a man and 8 kids' mom, and because I knew that they didn't have to deal with drama from my son's father. So that was why I said that. So it was mostly only on the man meeting my kids. I didn't have to really meet that because I didn't really want to date a man with children. But I do think that people should wait a good while, and especially if your children are older, in my opinion, because they be coming into preteen, and they probably, I don't know if they used to seeing a parent, and that goes for men too, with one person or without anyone. So it's going to be harder than a younger child. You can wheel a little kid in with some candy and ice cream. I mean, but when you get older kids, whatever they kind of used to seeing, how they used to seeing a parent, it's harder to introduce a person as the age of the child go up. So I think it depends on the age of the children between both people. They still should wait, but I do think if you have some older children and your situation before, you got to think about a lot of that before you introduce people to them. So it depends on the age of the kids, to me, as well.
And
Yeah,
also, I think that I agree. I'm sorry, Johnny Mae.
go ahead.
I agree with Jawanda as well, and especially when you're bringing older kids into the relationship. And I think that you should really get to know that person and be more around that person, and get to know his family, and what type of raising he had, and what is he used to, and different things like that before you bring them in around with your kids, because everybody raise their kids differently.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like Jawanda. I did date somebody with kids. Well, he had a son, and I noticed with him, he used his son as an excuse to get out of everything. And the type of woman I am, of course, your kid come first in my mind, because if I had a kid, I feel like they'll come first in my eyes or whatever. But I feel like he was using his son as an excuse to get out of doing things. Sorry about the creaking of the door, you guys. But yeah, so I was with like Jawanda. I didn't want to date anybody with kids once I did experience that one time, because I felt like, who am I to tell you or feel a type of way when it comes to your kids? So I don't want to share right now. So I know that. So I made the decision that I'm never gonna put myself where I have to share someone with their kid. Obviously, everybody got kids nowadays. You look up, they got kids. So yeah. So hopefully I don't have to join the dating world at all. Wink, wink.
I'm only 21, so kids is a no. Maybe if I was like in my 30s or something, but I just feel like it's an absolute no right now. I don't have kids, so, and I don't know, I just feel like it's really young.
So that's a no-go for you,
Yeah,
right?
maybe later, like 30s. I don't know. Right now, it's a no.
Okay.
How important is it for you guys if the person you're dating, for your kids to like them? Or does not matter?
Very important. Very important, because I mean, if the kids don't like them, then you just in a situation, a back and forth situation, because now you have the kid and the boyfriend fighting for attention. And especially if the kid doesn't like him, then it's going to be extra attention that they're going to be fighting for, because they feel like either they don't like him for whatever reason, they don't like him for. So yeah, that one right there.
Yeah, and I do agree. And that's why, to go back to what I said a little earlier, why I said the age is important as well, because, and little kids are very opinionated as well. But again, you take them to the carnival, get them some ice cream, whatever, and most of the time the parent going to be around, they may take to the person quicker or easier than an older child, because even if the person nice and not doing anything, it just depends on the older child attitude. Like I said, they may not, or they just don't want to see their parent dating right now. It could be a number of things. I mean, and the person could be rubbed them the wrong way. You never know. That's why it's important to talk to the kid and see why they don't like the person that you're dating, even if they're little and can express that. So I do say, yeah, you want to get that medium somewhere, because it's going to be chaos if once you all start to say you want a relationship. It's not going to be good.
I think the why. Oh, sorry. I think like what would be the reason that the kid didn't like the person you were dating? Like that would be something to look into. Like, are they treating your kid badly? Like what's the issue? Like that would be the important factor, is to figure out like what's the why.
It could be a lot of issues with kids. It just depends on the time frame and everything. It's just a whole variety of reasons that it could be. And sometimes it could be a little bit minor little thing. You have a lot of kids, especially when you have boys that feel like that the head of the household, and then another man come in there, it could just be something as simple as that. But I just truly believe if a real man come in, he would know how to deal with it. Now, if you have somebody that come in there and his mind setting is not as mature as, the kids, then it's going to be a problem. But I truly believe that a real man can come in and get in the mind setting and ease the mind setting of whatever the doubt that those kids are having about him coming within the household.
Yeah, I never thought about as far as like the age being mattering or whatever, because, and now to think about it, like the older the kid is, it probably affects them more, because like how many times if something change in our life, we just adjust to it. So we can't expect small kids, I mean not small, but like teenage kids or anything, to adjust to it without pushback or whatever, because we are grown and we know stuff gonna change and it's gonna be obstacles, and we don't just deal with it or accept it. So it's like now to think about it, like, yeah, I can understand it. So do you guys think a person, if they do have like trouble dating while they have like teenagers, how should they go about it? Should they like push it off or just keep it away from their kids until their kids is out? Like how you think a person should go about that?
If they are if they are in the household with them and then in the situation is not going, then I think that they should. I think that they should make a decision, and I think it would be a mature decision for them to make. You could continue to date, but let's reroute this and try it another way, and then maybe later on we can come back in and bring the kids in and see how we can work it out like that if we wanted to continue to do it like that. So I do think that I believe that it can be done, but like you're saying, at the same time, maybe they should pull back from it, and just give it time and just see how it go from there.
Because I guess once you become a parent, like your wants and needs don't really outweigh the kid that you brought in. I guess I can.
It don't. It don't, but it's supposed to. It's supposed to. Your want and needs supposed to be laid to the side, and especially when it comes down to raising your kids.
Yeah, and I do agree, and especially more. I say age a lot because, like JM said, the teenager, that's just a stage. Once they hit middle school, it's kind of tricky. So they hormones changing, everything going on. So, and that's why I stated you don't know before then. So if they only seen you with their father, they're gonna be mad anyway. It don't matter. The person could be the best person in the world.
Mm-hmm.
If you and a biological parent was together for 15 years and that's all they seen, mom or dad. So I do think when I say age, I'm not saying smaller kids don't matter, but I'm saying it's a lot when kids are older. So to piggyback off what Sherry said, a real man or woman have to come in and should know how to handle that, because you can't just come in. You got to be a little sensitive. And then if it's not working, as like JM said, as far as when teenagers do you think a parent should wait? In my opinion, I would. If it was to be me, if my children were teenagers, I would date. I wouldn't move no one in or me like live with anyone or whatever. Maybe I would introduce them, but it wouldn't be realist, because I just feel like if they have ever they seen me up until now, it'll just be too much to try to push on them. Their mind is not mature enough yet for that. That would be me if they were teenagers. And when I say teenagers, I'm saying high school years. I would think a parent should, far as going far, like Sherry said, moving in, all of that. And then the man or woman should know how to approach the situation, because these children have already been doing things this certain way. They've been their life. So you can't just come in and kind of stop everything and put your rules on or put your input, because it's really not it would, at that point, you shouldn't have too much say so when they become that older. If you want to talk to the parent privately, that's fine. But I believe when they get that older and you coming in a relationship, man or woman, with somebody, I wouldn't have a opinion like that and try to come in like I'm your mom or I'm your daddy. No, not for preteen or teenagers.
Because think about what we were talking about earlier, how we said it takes time for us to get to know somebody to make the relationship more serious. We can't expect for a kid to meet somebody right away and like them, or just be like, oh, okay, this welcome. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you got to allow that kid the same or even more time. That's something to think about. Thank God I don't got kids yet.
Kids.
I think what Sherry said about like if the steps you taking or what y'all doing not working, and taking a step back and then reconfiguring that whole situation, I feel like that's just the best option you can do. Because if the person come in hot and it is like preteen boys and they think they're the man of the house, or they have been acting as the man in the house, and the man that you dating come in hot and it's not working, then, you know, just take a step back and figure out a different situation and then just really like ease your way into it. I think that's just the only option.
Cause think about how many new managers came to a job and we like, we've been doing this way. How you gonna come in and try to change?
That's a good example.
You know,
That's
so
a good example.
it's the same way, and we adults thinking like this, so we just gotta, you know, be mindful of the
That's a
mentality.
good example.
So,
That's a good example as far as that's one of the best examples you probably can use with an adult so they can really understand it, because we as adults figure we don't remember when we was that age, and we older, we mature, and you kind of shun their opinion, but that's a good idea. That's a good example. I mean, yeah.
so now we're gonna shift over to like obstacles and disagreements or arguments and fights. It's kind of similar to like obstacles is like basically seeing if y'all can overcome the issues of like the kids not agreeing with the new mate or whatever. But do you guys think if you get into like an argument or disagreement in the dating phase, how do you think you should continue on, or is that like a red flag, or how what's y'all's thought on that in the dating phase? And I guess it all depends on what the fight or argument is about, but yeah, what's y'all thought?
Well, they always say when people show you who they are, you better believe it. So if we dated, what are we arguing for?
That quick.
Yeah, I believe that if it like you say, it really depends on the argument. It depends on if you see like more pettiness in a person or something like that. I think Joanna has said it earlier, like little things, like if you feel like it's just something that, you know, you just can't deal with, then that's just the time right then and there to make the decision. Like, this is just something I know that I'm not, you know, going to be able to deal with it, instead of just continue on and on and on. And then thinking that, you know, maybe you're going to change the person, or, you know, they're going to change or something like that. So yeah, that's a big decision that I think that you have to make early on when you're even now that I'm older. So it's just certain conversations when I talk to guys on the phone, and it's certain conversations I already know it's not going any further, you know. So we finna go in the friend zone real quick, you know. So I know that now.
Like, that's it.
Yes, that's it. Certain things like no. Mm-mm.
I agree with you as far as like when we see stuff, we need to believe it and not try to dress it up or clean it up, because a lot of people do think like, oh, we're just going through this right now. We're in a relationship. When we get married, it's gonna be better. No, it's not. It's probably gonna be worse. And so yeah, like if it's a red flag, I'm now at my age, I know like if it's something I know I'm not, it's a absolutely no, I can't get with this. I might as well just keep it pushing. Why go have a kid with somebody you already knew you couldn't deal with in a relationship? So it's like, just go ahead, cut it off. You just gonna save yourself a lot of headaches.
Yeah. I think a lot of people, especially if you're young, people don't think ahead as when they get mature. That's why I agree with Sherry as far as I think dating should be later, because you become more mature. But I do think in the dating, if something happened like that in the dating phase, even if it's small, when you have not said we in a relationship, like we exclusive, most people don't argue in the dating stage. It's happy. That's the honeymoon part. We dating, we like each other. So if something happened in that stage, that's definitely a red flag, because it's like we haven't even went that far yet as to we said we dating, or even probably past, you know, whatever you all communicated on. So I think if it's that early on, then yeah, because people do think that they can change people, like Sherry said, and and to just still speak on that. Which women do it more probably than men. And I had seen a video, and it was a man that said it too, I think, or a lady, because Sherry may have sent it to me. It's not, we don't have to fix people. they need to come to you ready. So if you get a man, women have to kind of stop waiting around like, oh, he gonna be okay. It's let him go fix himself. If he for you, he'll be for you just as well if a man with a toxic woman. So I believe a lot of women believe that they can fix these broken men. I'm saying women because women do it more than men as far as when men anger issues, whatever may happen in their past, childhood, whatever, and you try to stick around trying to fix that. And we shouldn't be responsible for having to deal with all of that and fix it. Let it go. And they responsible for themselves.
And I
And I
believe that we do that because that's our natural instinct from being mothers. So
Yeah.
we do that, and then what happened when you start doing that, you actually become, instead of a relationship with a person, you actually become like a mother figure in that relationship. So it's no longer a man to you. It's like he's a boy to you, and you's a mother. So then you becomes controlling over the relationship. So that has a lot to do with it as well.
and not to get too deep in this because I want to save this topic or subject for another episode. But like, I do agree with Jawanda. I feel like, and I'm gonna only speak on Black women because I'm a Black woman and I surround myself with Black women. I feel like a lot of Black women deal with men that's not together or not fixed, or we get like the empty men, and we gotta fill them up, opposed to when they go outside of their race, they already built up and the other women get to enjoy them together. And we like if it's us, we gotta build them up. And I just feel like we already get the short end of the stick already. So women, if they ain't got it,
Let it
tell
go.
them back when they got it.
Like Keisha Cole say, let it go. Yep.
But that's gonna be another episode because I'm gonna get a little deeper from
I think overall, basically, from what everyone was saying, those first like red flags or whatever you want to call them, really take time and look at those. Don't try to gloss over them or don't be too much in the honeymoon phase. If it's some attributes about someone that you don't like or that's a deal breaker, you need to really look at that and not think, oh, this is a deal breaker, but maybe down the line they could change, or down the line they be different. Just think like, this is a deal breaker for me now. I'm not going to try to change nobody, and that's not for you. It's gonna be somebody else.
and you got to think about the person you dating or whatever. If y'all move on, the kids y'all gonna have all that too from that man of all. So you got to think about it. Don't stop there. If you proceed with a more serious relationship and start having kids with that person. So think about it.
And that's so true. That is so true. And that's why I opt out of dating, with my boys, because I didn't want to bring any toxic, into it with them, and then it would take the focus off of, what you're trying to do in the route that you're trying to get your kids to go in a productive way.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I want to ask everyone, what is one thing that you learned from someone else today from this discussion?
Well, I learned I'm almost 40. So from the Tatiana that's 21, as far as just take the dating easy, take the scene, even though I'm not dating anymore, but if I was to ever have to, even the age wouldn't matter. But it should just be, you should just kind of live life when you're young and just go with the flow and kind of enjoy your youth and just take things a little slower with dating.
I think I pull a little bit from everybody, and I could just sum it all up to really dating is a part of just communicating and being honest with what you want and how you want it, how you want it to be met. If you're gonna date somebody or be in a relationship with somebody.
And I took something from Jawanda and Sherry as far as, because I don't have kids, I want to listen closely, because if I ever, cross the bridge of having kids and have to date again, that just be mindful of the kids' opinion and feelings, and try to steer away from really bringing new people into the home when the kids are at a certain age. So just hopefully I never have to deal with that, because I just feel like that's a lie. So
I think what I took from it was the metaphor that JM used about how when you're working somewhere and new managers come in, you have to get used to them. You have to learn them or start respecting them before they could just come in and demand stuff from you. I feel like that would be a good thing to explain to an adult who's not understanding why their kids isn't taking a liking to the boyfriend that they bring in, to think about, like, just, tell them, when you had this new manager, didn't you have to, you knew they was, an authority figure, but you still had to learn them and, take that time to learn them and respect them for you to be okay with the relationship between the two.
Yeah. You might have to copyright your example because people don't take it now.
That was a good example.
It was.
Awesome.
Okay, so we're going to close out for this week. I want to thank Sherry and Jawanda for joining us today on the show. Tune in next week for Sister Talks, and it'll be available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. If you just want to listen to it, follow our social medias at Sister Talks 07. But thank you guys. Bye.
Thanks for having
Bye.
us. Bye.